Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome in to the PHNX Suns Podcast. I'm Lindsay. That's Gerald. That's Flex. And that's Espo. How you guys doing? Did you have a good weekend? It's very rare during the season we have a whole weekend without games.
I know. It was nice.
I went to the ballet.
Did you?
The ballet,
Yes.
huh?
How was that?
It was more fun when you have a 7-year-old daughter than when I used to go, back in the day when I didn't have a kid. So,
Okay.
just fun watching her enjoy it. And then I got to participate in a ballet at her house last night.
Nice.
Aw, that's
Very nice.
cute.
Let's
I love that.
Let's just
Can
say
Can I see the video?
after the show.
Damn,
maybe.
Espo.
I'm not sending it to anybody.
That
but I
one
could
stays
show.
off Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't
Put the
blame
tights
you.
on and
No, I
everything.
have worn a tutu at school for her. Though, just to
Okay.
make her laugh,
That's
so.
legit.
I had a good weekend. My wife, today's her birthday. Happy birthday to
Oh,
my
nice.
beautiful, wonderful wife. But we kind of celebrated on Saturday, so it was
Okay.
a cool time with some family. But yeah, it was good. Recharge your batteries.
Yes, absolutely.
I didn't do. I went to the
watched a
movies.
movie.
I went to the movies, and then I did Suns practice yesterday, and
Yeah.
that was pretty much the weekend.
I had a Christmas party yesterday. It was pretty legit.
Yeah, played
Yeah.
some games.
I got a plant, you guys. But like a super dope plant. I had to steal it in order to get it. So
Okay.
I'm just saying.
That sounds
Invite
about
me to
right.
your Christmas
In a-
party if you have cool plants.
In a game, or did you just jack it from
No,
somebody's
it's like a
house?
white elephant like game type of thing.
Who's on the way out?
Our rules were a single gift can only be stolen twice.
Mhm.
So somebody else stole it, and I was like, I'm gonna steal this from
Ah,
you, and
you
then
was
it was
plotting.
mine for good. And I was
Gotcha.
like, this win, I win.
What movie you watched, bro?
Godzilla -1. It was
Okay.
really good.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good.
And look, had math in the title, but so perfect for you.
Analytics.
Analytics during the
Hashtag
movie.
math.
Was that
All
just
right.
plus minus? Godzilla was minus one?
Minus, it actually kind of was.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, Gerald, you went to Suns practice yesterday. You went to Suns practice today.
Mhm.
We're getting good news, you guys. Bradley Beal is available tomorrow
Mhm.
to play in this game. Now, will he, won't he? I suppose that remains to be seen. I think we're going to talk through some potential options that we would maybe like to see if we were in charge of the Suns. But this is great news as a whole.
It is. Like, Beal has been a full participant in practice the last couple days. Today was a non-contact day, so there wasn't a ton that was done. But they liked the way that he responded to a full practice yesterday, which is good news because, as we know, with the back, it's all about progressing, seeing how much you can push, and then seeing how you respond to that. And so we are heading into Tuesday's game with him being available and set to make his return, assuming there are no last-minute setbacks, which, based on what we've seen with
Yeah.
KD's home debut and with the debut we thought of the big three a couple weeks ago, we're going to wait until we actually see it on the court, but it's supposed to happen now.
Knock
Yeah.
on wood, touch metal, whatever you think.
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
I love it because we'd been talking about how he was doing really good behind the scenes.
Mhm.
And, there was from my understanding, there was a 4 to 6 week window. And so the fact that they're right at, you're talking about 4 weeks. You're
Mhm.
talking about less than 4 weeks, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's important because when you're dealing with a back injury, if you had a substantial issue, you would absolutely try to push towards the tail end of that timeline. The fact that he's coming back at this point makes me feel really good that they got it under control and that some of the concerns people may have about structural damage is probably not prevalent at this point. So really good for Brad Beal, happy for him, and it's exciting because I don't think we saw this coming on Friday.
Yeah, what I liked about what he had to say at practice, and I know Dwayne Rankin over at the Republic brought it up, but asking him kind of what was wrong. He
Mhm.
said, look, it wasn't just a strain, so he admitted that. But then he also talked about earlier in that how his teammates were part of the reason why he decided not to try to come back. Like, it sounded like if he had it his way, he would have pushed to come back a lot sooner. Not that we've ever heard anybody do that before, but I found it interesting that he said, "Hey, guys like Book, KD saying, get good, we got this." That makes me feel a little bit better too, because everybody's like, "Oh, Bradley Beal, is he load managing himself? Is he doing that? Whatever?" No, his teammates said, "You get right. Don't force yourself back. Get 100% and then come back." And I like that. That's good support. And where other guys, or when he was in Washington, he may not have had that option because he was the only guy.
Right.
And that's one thing that kind of shone through is his frustration, because he's heard what people have said about this, him being sidelined and how frustrating it is to be injured. And he was saying, the last time that we talked to him after that last game that he played in, when he played through the second half, he said he probably shouldn't have, because A, he hurt the team, and B, he made it worse. But hearing from all of his teammates was really beneficial to him. And you alluded to it, Espo, so let's go ahead and play that video of what he had to say about his Suns teammate support.
A lot, because honestly, I probably would have played and been hard-headed probably through the process if I didn't listen to my teammates. I think they more or less gave me more confidence and just kind of made me feel better about the situation. Like, it sucks to be hurt. Like, nobody wants to be hurt, and especially when you're somebody who they look at you to help contribute to the success of the team. So I hate to be in that position, but to hear it from Kay and hear it from Book, like, take your time, make sure you're 100%. Like, we got it. We have more than enough to stay afloat and push this thing to where we want to go. We need you, down the stretch. And so, like, that made me feel awesome every single day. It frustrated me, but because I wanted to be out there super bad, and I wanted to be out there with them. But more than anything, man, it just speaks volumes of them, of their character, and just their mindset when it comes to us as players.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the support of your teammates is huge, because it allows you to comfortably work through whatever issues you're dealing with without feeling like you have to rush to get back and then potentially making things worse in the long run. And then also, I think it does kind of speak to just the nature of this team as a whole, right? Like, they may not have had the opportunity to build chemistry on the court together and figure out how they're going to play with one another, but they're building chemistry to an extent from a relationship standpoint. And that's just as important.
Yeah, and I mean, the patience aspect is huge, because we came into the season saying this ad nauseum, like, we need them healthy for the playoffs. That's what this team's ceiling is. Obviously, we need them to build continuity during the regular season, but as long as they're healthy for the playoffs, we've got a shot against anyone in a 7-game series. And as a fan base, it can be easy to lose sight of that when guys are continually missing games, when losses are starting to pile up. But these guys have kept their eye on the prize. And like, Book and KD obviously want Beal out there, but for them to say, like, no, take your time, we got this, we're going to keep the team afloat in the meantime, like, that's huge, because Beal had tried to play through the injury before and made it worse. He had said again just there that he would probably play through it if not for them telling him to take his time. So that's really important, and that's huge, because as much as we have gotten in this tunnel vision of, like, when are they going to play, these guys are still seeing the bigger picture of, like, we just need to be healthy at the right time of year.
I want to defend the fan base a little bit, because there's been some talk about them being impatient, and I get that. But there's a reason, and I've said this before, that fan is short for fanatical. It's not about sitting there and thinking logically when it comes to that as a fan. What is going on is the greatest fear of the group was starting to feel like it was being realized, because all we heard was, you just put together a bunch of injured guys, and that this team is not capable of staying healthy, so it won't matter. You're not going to win a title, right? Mm-hmm. So you hear that all off season, and then it comes to fruition at the beginning of the year, And that gets in people's heads. And that causes concern for the average fan because in the end, all they want is to see this team win a title. It's all that fans that have been around this team have wanted for 55 years. And one way or another, at different times, things have happened to be roadblocks in that. Whether you want to call it a curse, whether you want to just say it's bad luck, whatever the case may be, the factual reality of it is that something has always come in the way of this team reaching that. So I think this was all fear-based in terms of this is coming to fruition, what people said was going to cost an opportunity to the title, but the players haven't had that mindset. They've made it very clear that their focus is on winning, right? And that whatever it takes to get to that point and be able to sustain winning long-term is what they care about. And they know, and that's why they did say to Beal, get 100% healthy. Right. It's why Book stayed out, when he was hurt earlier, even though he came back at one point. You know, it's part of that. It's why KD sat out after rolling his ankle the other night, because they understand that all that really matters to them is completing the job. And it's not the fans' job to think like that. That's the player's job. It's the front office's job. The fans are supposed to bring the passion, are supposed to care, are supposed to bring the energy about it. And it came out as nervous energy over the last month, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I agree with you to a certain extent. I will never advocate for throwing logic out the window because of fandom, but my thing is, and I've said this from the start, I get being nervous about the injury thing because, like you said, all summer it was, they're the Nets 2.0, and it was all this stuff, and you start to see that happening. And with back injuries, because of the nature of them, you get concerned about them. My thing was the selection of fans, and this is not the whole fan base, the selection of fans that want to trade every single player, that want to fire Vogel in mid-December, that want to like blow it all up, that are saying, this was a terrible trade. Why did we trade? Checks math, Chris Paul and Landry Shamet for an all-star. Like, those were the things where I drew the line. And I do think even as a fan, you still can approach things with an ounce of logic without devolving into paranoia, shame, fear, like it's all over, that type of thing.
Yeah, but we're paid to
That's
sit
not
here
fun, Gerald.
But we're paid to sit
for
here
me.
and analyze and think through it. Some people just use this as the way to detach from their own life. And I think that a lot of that is blowing off steam about whatever's going on in their world.
Well, yeah, because this is the thing that brings you joy. This is your hobby, if you will, outside of the day-to-day. So I get it.
And
Being
it's
upset when
it's the outlet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the way people decompress, right?
Exactly. And when the thing that you turn to decompress brings you more stress.
That's right. No, it can get chaotic. It can get a little crazy.
Stressful.
I think y'all all make great points. I mean, I think there's a part of the fan base that you talked about that was nervous. You're hearing Brooklyn 2.0, but I also feel like Gerald's point to the logic, look at Brooklyn 2.0. You had KD coming missing a whole season due to an Achilles tear. And then people keep bringing up, they played 17 games together. Well, they were in a pandemic year and somebody didn't get vaccinated, right? So if you start to kind of logically piece it together, there was a really good reason why that number was 17. Right? There were injuries in between, but there were some circumstances that were way beyond the norm that made that number so low. And to go like to Brooklyn 2.0 after 20 games always felt a little strange to me, but I see both sides. There are a part of the fan base that's like, man, I just want these guys healthy because I decompress and it's my outlet. And then there's a side that kind of goes overboard. But I'm glad we're getting to the point where Brad Beal has good enough teammates and the organization that he can actually, that's rare. Like in this business, there's so much pressure with the amount of money these guys are making to play basketball. And especially in this town with the big three, I couldn't imagine the amount of stress that Brad was under at home. Just probably laying in bed staring at the wall like, man, this thing's caving in, right? But I got KD, I got Book, I got the coaching staff, I got ownership, I got the GMs, I got the front office, the trainers. Everybody's saying, do the right thing by you, we'll be okay. That's pretty damn cool, and I'm glad that hopefully tomorrow we take a step in the direction of getting all this solved.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're not the only ones that know what Bradley Beal makes and think, you're not living up to it. You don't think he thinks that when that's going on? You don't think he thinks I came here to try to help win a title, and I'm not doing that right now.
Yeah.
I think that's the part that's really lost in the human element. I think that's what bothers me the most when the logic starts to go out the window, is the fact that these guys are human goes out the window too.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem. But I've heard some really egregious things about Suns fans over the last day or two, and I just wanted to stand up for them a little bit in it too. But I agree with you. There's got to be some logic, but I also understand, a sense of panic in certain things.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's look ahead to this week, right? We've got the Warriors tomorrow, the Nets on Wednesday, and the Knicks on Friday. Okay, we'll just look at these 3 games to start with. Kevin Durant is technically questionable for tomorrow's game. So we know that Bradley Beal is available. We know that Kevin Durant is questionable. I think it's safe to assume that back-to-back, maybe Bradley Beal wouldn't play both games or would be limited more in like a second game of a back-to-back. If you're Frank Vogel, you're James Jones, you're Matt Ishbia, how do you kind of play this all out? How would you, in your perfect scenario, when would the big 3 in theory debut for you?
Let Espo handle this one, because I love to. Go ahead, brother.
So it's pretty obvious KD's going to want to play against the Nets, right? I'd assume he already played against Golden State earlier this year. I imagine he'd want to play against his former team. It's pretty clear that Bradley Beal's chomping at the bit. I think the smart way to do this is you play Beal tomorrow, you play KD on Wednesday and let Beal rest, and you play them all on Friday against the Knicks. And you play this smart, just like we were talking about. You're not trying to win these next 3 games to win the press conference. You're trying to win these next three games strategically while also putting yourself in the best position to succeed moving forward. And I know it's tempting. Big 3. We all want to see it. We'd love to see it in the next 2 days, but I think the smartest way is to go that way.
Yeah, I love that thought process. I kind of went a little bit different, but this is just me, and I think this is a little PTSD from my back injuries.
Okay.
I was leaning towards maybe Beal not playing tomorrow and having him start fresh on a normal schedule, play Wednesday, take a day off, play Friday, as opposed to play, take a day off. Like, so when you have back injuries, I look more to like a rhythm, and him not playing tomorrow probably puts him in a better rhythm. So I probably would have said no Beal tomorrow, no KD, and then potentially bring everybody back on Wednesday. But then you leave Book out there alone against Golden State, right? So you don't want to do that. So in a perfect world, I love Espo's plan. Book and Beal tomorrow, KD and Book Wednesday, and the 3 amigos on Friday versus the Knicks. I don't mind that.
Honestly, it depends on how many minutes Beal plays tomorrow for me.
What are you thinking he'll be at? Based on what you've seen from Frank Vogel with injuries so far this year, what's your guess?
It's hard to say because there have been some games where Book has come back and played like 37, 38 minutes in his first game back after missing like a couple weeks, which is not a minutes restriction.
Hold on. Before you can tell, I didn't want to cut you off. But yeah, Book is a weirdo like that.
Book is but I think Beal kind of is too. Like,
yeah, he might be.
He played through a back injury last time and then wound up missing multiple weeks because of it.
That's true.
I think with Beal, I hope that he keeps him in the 20 to 25 minute range, but I also don't know the extent of how he's looked in practice, how much he's going to be able to tolerate in his first game back in a couple weeks. I would aim for 20, 25 minutes. And then if it responds well, he's probably going to want to play on Wednesday. I don't know if that's the right decision for him. I would probably sit him, have KD back for Wednesday, and then big 3 on Friday. And then you go from there with Beal. But it depends on how many minutes they're going to be able to limit him to. I don't think the Warriors are much of a challenge at this point. They haven't been a very good team recently. They've had some injuries as well. So I think, honestly, in a worst-case scenario, if you only had Book, you could probably still win that game if they play as well as they did against Sacramento. But, we're not in a place to be taking wins for, taking those for granted.
Yeah.
Correct.
So if Bradley Beal plays tomorrow and sits out on Wednesday, does that trigger anything with this whole rest BS shenanigans at the NBA?
It shouldn't. I mean, he's
It
been out
shouldn't.
for
He's
a
got a
month
real
with
injury.
a back injury.
Yeah.
Or is it more like, because I mean, that
It's-
to me, that would technically be like a load management in the sense of like we're managing this injury to make sure that it's actually like in a good place.
Well, you can still do that. You just can't do multiple stars in the same game.
Okay,
That's right.
You know
so
what?
it's fine for the
but
one.
there's
dude.
As long as
answer.
KD, yeah.
That's your answer.
Mm,
Tomorrow's a national televised game.
mm,
Beal's been listed as available.
mm.
I don't feel like if KD's out, isn't that going to trigger something by not playing Beal, even though he's been
Good
listed
point.
as available for a national television
Good point.
televised game?
It might trigger something, but we thought that it might trigger it last time, even though one of the two guys or both of them had legitimate injuries. So in this case, if KD does still have an ankle sprain,
It's
which he
real.
does,
Yeah, it's real.
I would assume there's nothing to punish there. But
Well, I'm saying if you sit Beal tomorrow night.
no, I
then,
know. But
yeah.
even if you do, you still need 2 stars that are load managing, and you'd
That's
only
true.
have
Yeah.
one.
And
maybe.
technically, because he hasn't returned, he's
Right.
still on an injury, so you
True.
can't.
Right.
Yeah,
but
so
he is available. So I mean,
Yeah.
barring any setback, he'll be playing tomorrow.
Can I ask y'all a question? Do y'all feel like that's gonna start if he played tomorrow?
Hmm.
And then he didn't play Wednesday, do you feel like there's a section of the fan base that's going to be like, well, if he's 100%, why can't he play Wednesday?
There always is,
Right?
but
So-
hopefully it's minimal.
And
Yeah.
I'm not attacking the fans. I'm just saying
yeah,
that, like, you would like for him to come back and not have a pause.
Yeah, but that's where
But
the
that's
human
wishful
element.
thinking.
right.
Yeah,
I mean-
no, yeah.
Sorry, I spoke.
Oh, no, I go work out tomorrow. I got to take, and I know I'm not a high performance athlete here, but
not?
it's human nature that if you're, like sometimes if you work too hard after you haven't done anything for a while,
Mhm.
you're going to need that day of rest so you don't
Mhm.
hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
the biggest thing is overcompensating when your body hasn't fully recovered from the last time
Yes.
you worked out or you did
I agree.
strenuous activity. So I think this is the logical part. This is the human element. You got to think, okay, this guy hasn't played basketball for 4 weeks. He had a bad back, which means he probably wasn't doing a whole lot of cardio or anything during that time either. So this isn't going to be the norm moving forward. This is just the logical back one game, going to need a rest. You're not going to play back to back. Plays on Friday. I mean,
Right. I mean, it's pretty natural. And plus, like, how many times have we discussed, and every athlete will tell you this, like, there's no, like, nothing can get you into game shape
Like
than
again.
playing a game.
Yeah.
So no matter what he was doing behind the scenes, he's not going to be at that exact level without playing multiple games. And you got to start somewhere. And a
Mhm.
back-to-back is not exactly ideal
Mhm.
for this type
Not
of a
ideal for
situation.
any-
That's my thing, Lens. I don't think it's ideal, and so that's why I'm kind of like I'm stuck on this one.
Yeah.
I wish and again I'm sorry, real quick. Brooklyn or Golden State? Like, who do you think is the tougher team right now?
I don't
Brooklyn.
think-
Brooklyn.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I think if there's a game that you can get away with without having those guys, I think it's Golden State.
Mhm.
And so I'd like them all to be there Wednesday versus McKell and the boys, but that's wishful thinking. Whatever makes sense, man, is what I want.
I feel like having watched this year, we can't take any game
You're right.
for granted.
You're right.
So you need to put yourself in the best position to be able to win both.
You're right.
Yeah. All right. I know it's going to take some time when they do inevitably all hit the court. It is going to take some time for them to build up their chemistry with one another from a basketball side of things. But Frank Vogel talked about that today at practice. Here's what he said.
Yeah, well, this is, this still becomes the initial phase of these 3 playing together, right? It's which we knew from the start this summer, that there's still going to be an element of cohesion that has to be built amongst them and amongst the guys that are out there with them. So this is really stage 1, of seeing that. So you never know how quickly those things are going to take shape. Sometimes they click right away. Just because of the talent alone, and sometimes it takes time for teammates to learn each other and learn what we're doing within our system. So we'll see how that all plays out.
So he alluded to it, and I know we've been preaching patience the whole time, but even when you get all 3 of these guys out here, this is really day 1 of what we were hoping would be day 1 back in October. I think they have the talent, like he alluded to make it click a lot faster. We've talked about this big 3 being different from other big 3s that we've seen because they can all play on or off the ball, which is kind of unique compared to like the Miami Heat big three from back in the day, or even the Brooklyn Nets big three, where two of those guys were pretty ball dominant players. I think these three can make it work, but it's all about now getting them on the court together, making sure they stay healthy, and putting the right rotations around them that work, putting the right spacing, the right combination of shooting and defense, and figuring out what those lineups look like. Because to this point, night in and night out, it's been a different starting lineup. It's been a different bench rotation. It's been different guys being called to do more than they've had to do or than they'll be expected to do now. So now it's all about assimilating all of this stuff that we've been looking forward to all summer. It's unfortunate that it'll probably be game 24, 25 of the season where that process finally begins, but there will be some learning, some trial and error that comes with that.
Yeah, and I think the part I'm not worried about the big three.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are good enough. These are generational talents. They're good enough to get out there and figure things out amongst themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Eric Gordons of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like Eric Gordon has showed that he performs better as a starter than when he's coming off the bench. He performs better when he's got way more, 25 or 30 minutes as opposed to 15, 18 minutes, right? And so what I urge people to kind of chill back and let this fall into place is those role guys now have to readjust.
Mm-hmm.
They have to readjust to not getting so many minutes and still being productive. And so that may take a little bit of time. That may take 3, 4, 5 games. And if the outcomes don't play out the way you think, don't wave the white flag. Don't toss it in. Give it some time, because I think they're good enough to work it out.
I think that is the nail on the head, right? The role players don't know their roles right now.
Right.
So they have to understand, what does this world look like with the big three? What are they expected to do? What will those minutes look like? And I think that's where the adjustment is, because we saw what the big three can look like playing together in the preseason.
Yep.
And offensively, it looked fantastic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where I think Nurk is going to have to adjust, and I think he will, because I think he's in a better position, a more natural position where he can dish to these guys. In that's why you got him. You got to figure out what's your starting lineup. Is it Grayson? Is it a KBD? Is it a Josh Okogie? And then whoever isn't, whichever two aren't that guy, how do they adjust to a bench role? And Frank's got to adjust to, how do you play all these guys?
Mm-hmm.
What are your minutes, and what role does he want these guys in? So I think that's where it's going to take time, but I'd much rather deal with that taking time than us all waiting to go, hey, are we ever going to see the big three? So I think hopefully that part of it is an easier adjustment for the fan base.
Yes. All right, so we talked about how KD is still technically questionable for tomorrow's game. We'll keep you guys posted on that whenever we hear any updates. You can follow along on Twitter at PHNX_Suns. Real quick, we will give KD a little bit of love. He was named to the all-tournament team for the inaugural in-season tournament, so that means he gets that really cool black and gold basketball trophy. Which I don't know if he's going to enjoy that or not, but if he doesn't want it, you can always donate it to us, Katie. We would love it.
I'm sure that's going in some storage unit with a million other things he's won since elementary school, right? But if you look at the stats here, his tournament was fantastic. Averaged 34.5 points, shot almost 61%, 6.8 assists, 7.3 rebounds, and shot almost 70% from three-point range.
Insane.
But he's washed, at 35.
That's incredible numbers.
The only guy that could have outdone that was Bull if he got the opportunity.
Oh, no.
That's incredible numbers, man. And me and Lindsay was supposed to go snatch that trophy.
I know.
You guys missed out.
We almost got that, Lindsay. We almost got that.
Dang. But shout out to KD getting a little love on the in-season tournament there. I know it didn't end the way that we all wanted it to, but it is what it is.
And he's the only guy that didn't make it to the semifinals or the finals of that knockout round and still be selected to the all-tournament team. So that just tells you how good he was in those 5 games that he was able to play for the all-tournament thing.
Yeah.
All
right. Just a quick reminder, you guys, if you are hosting holiday parties or going to holiday parties this year, one really great item you can bring as a contribution to the party or as a gift to your host is some Wink. So Wink are seltzers. They're available online for you guys. The product is THC and CBD in each can. They come in 2.5 milligrams or 5 milligram cans, and you can find them all online. They're just like a bubbly social seltzer and no hangover, which everyone loves, because sometimes with how crazy the holidays are, you have to have Christmas parties on Sundays and then get up and go to work the next day. Nobody wants a hangover for that. But you can buy them in 12, 24, and variety packs right now. And if you use the promo code PHNX, you'll get an additional 50% off your total order. That is drinkwink.com, code PHNX for 50% off your total order. So take advantage of it if you haven't tried it out. Highly recommend them. Everyone here loves them.
I just ordered them last week. Got it super quick, easy online. The age verification super easy. I highly recommend the experience.
Yeah, check them out. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure you get out and get your holiday scratchers from Arizona Lottery. They make really good Christmas gifts. If you guys are looking for like a last minute present to bring to your gift exchange, $50 worth of scratchers, $35, whatever your range is for the exchanges. They make awesome gifts. So go out and buy your holiday scratchers today. Find a retailer like our friends over at Circle K near you at ArizonaLottery.com. Now you must be 21 or older to play. All right. We're going to look at our King of the Court presented by Arizona Lottery. Again, don't forget to get out and buy your holiday scratchers. I'm going to pick a number, and whatever number that lands on, we're going to go Gerald, Flex, Espo. That is who you are going to be rooting for this week, okay?
Okay.
Them's the rules. Up
Boom,
first,
boom.
we're going to go number
Boom, boom.
5 for Gerald.
Number 5 for me.
Oh, Gerald,
it's
look
Bradley
at you. You got
Beal.
lucky.
I got an easy one.
You did get an easy one.
I'm good
Why
with
do I
that.
feel like I'm getting Saban lead?
I don't know. We're going to find out. Okay, Gerald's good. Next up for Flex, what number should we pick here? I think we're going to pick number 9.
Number 9?
I like that.
Number 9.
Okay. We got
Okay.
Drew Eubanks.
Drew
Eubanks.
Eubanks.
Let's go, Drew.
Drew
Eubanks.
Eubanks is yours.
actually perfect because it's lined up perfect.
We got Bradley Beal. We got Drew Eubanks. Espo, number 11.
Bull, 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 bull.
Metu.
Oh.
Josh Okogie.
Yes.
Let's go.
All right. Espo's on my side this week.
Knocked
Yes.
down.
Okay. So we got Bradley Beal. We got Drew Eubanks. We got Josh Okogie. Those are your guys' 3 players you are rooting for this week. I'm not saying that you have to incorporate them in your bets, but maybe you could.
What?
Maybe you should.
Why
I don't
does,
know.
why does Gerald get the easy assignment here, right?
It's
Listen,
pretty
I
easy
didn't pick
assignment.
them.
No, Fate picked them. We didn't pick them. Yeah, technically, you did pick them. You said
Yeah,
the
she did
numbers.
pick the numbers.
Well, whatever.
Well, whatever.
All right. Let's talk a little bit of PJ Tucker. We got a super chat from Eddie. Eddie, thank you for your super chat. They said free agent trade options for a defensive center. We will maybe bring back Trade Machine Tuesday next week. Not this week, next week. Okay?
I might be writing about it this week.
Yeah.
December 15th.
Mhm.
But things are getting a little bit interesting
Yeah.
when it comes to this area. We're going to talk about PJ because there was a report that says that PJ has expressed frustrations about his current situation with the Clippers, and both sides are discussing ways to resolve a role for him there or elsewhere, according to league sources. So, PJ Tucker, come on down.
Look, so that was Shams in The Athletic. Obviously, PJ has gotten DNP since November 27th. Was the guy that said there's not enough basketballs in LA for this offense.
Mhm.
He's not happy. I'm sure the Clippers want to do whatever it takes to just cut ties at this point, which leads me to believe potential probably buyout, because I don't think you're going to get a lot in exchange with that $11 million contract.
Yep.
He has. So to me, I'm biased. We all know I love PJ, but I think when you look at it, he's a guy that fits the defensive mindset that you're hoping for, is fantastic at corner threes. And everybody's like, oh, he's lost a step. He can't. He's hardly played this year, but in the 3 games he played in Philly, he shot 40% on corner threes, and that's what he's averaged over the last roughly over the last 3 years. Guess what the Suns need? A guy that can knock down corner threes, because that's the open look that people are getting. I think PJ is an interesting option if he's a buy.
I also think he checks that box as far as like edge goes. Like, how
Yeah.
many times have we brought up like, oh, a Jay Crowder-esque player who's got that spiciness to him? PJ absolutely checks that box too. And the relationship with him and Book is always a solid one, and a good locker room situation. You know you're going to fine with the two of them.
Him and KD as well. Texas.
Yeah, they played together in college. Yeah.
I think it would be a solid depth move if he gets bought out. Obviously, with a trade, I don't think it's worth trading $11 million worth of salary because you'd have to give up Nas and a couple other guys to make it work financially with that $11 million contract that Espo alluded to. So if he gets bought out, totally understand. I think if you look at the roster, there are a couple of guys that aren't getting minutes that you could replace their spot with PJ Tucker. We know Book loves him. We know he played with KD. My expectations would not be very high for him. No. I think he would be a solid bench guy that you could turn to maybe in a pinch if he's still got it. Because we know the multi-positional defense. We know the physicality, the rebounding, just the glue guy stuff. He's done that throughout his career, and he started doing it here where he really made a name for himself. But the corner three-point shooting is what you would really need. He, like you mentioned, he's been shooting really great percentages on that for the last couple of years. He's been shooting really good 3-point percentages overall. It's just this season it hasn't clicked with the Clippers. So your hope is that that's just a bad situation for him and that a change of scenery to a team like this would kind of reinvigorate him.
Yeah, I mean, in this business you hear a lot of things. And the reality is, a lot of the times, 99% of the time, it's just rumors, right? Mm-hmm. There's really no substance to it. This has some substance, but to Gerald's point, it won't be in a trade. Mm-hmm. No. If he were to get bought out, I'm comfortable enough saying I don't think there's many other teams that he would consider above the Phoenix Suns. Mm-hmm. So you have the relationship, you have the comfort level, and I will say this. If you're expecting PJ Tucker from 3-4 years ago, you're going to be surprised because he's not that anymore.
No, right.
But what I will say is this. I do believe that PJ Tucker is one of those rare guys that is tailor-made for playoff basketball. He's that guy that when you're in a tough series and you just need that extra rebound or you need that one defensive stop or you need that guy to say, go PJ, this guy's just getting a little too warm. Go apply some pressure. Mm-hmm. Those are the type of plays that he makes, and those are championship type plays. So I'd love to get PJ, and I'd love to keep him healthy, and I'd love to keep him involved and use him as kind of that secret weapon, if you could, at the end of the year in a tough playoff series. But again, it's all up in the air.
There was a question about the collective bargaining agreement, and I did some research. And so teams that are $7 million above the luxury tax threshold, which goes into the second apron, cannot sign players who are waived during the season and have a pre-waiver salary exceeding the full mid-level exception, which was 12.4, which means PJ would not fall in that category. So the Suns would, in fact, be able to sign him. Now, what you have to worry about is he has to clear waivers. Yeah. Does somebody willingly take on that $11 million?
No way.
I doubt it. And then does he want to be here as opposed to other destinations where he could potentially go? I'd imagine that he'd be very interested, but we don't know. And you know what? Does James Jones and Isaiah Thomas in the shadow front office, do they have a desire with PJ? We'll find out if it comes to that. So.
Yeah, but it's absolutely something to keep an eye on because we've heard the rumblings time and time again. And then also, like you said, things are getting a little exciting around the NBA right now with December 15th just around the corner and more players becoming available. But me personally, I know that based on what we've seen so far, there's a couple things we can point at that be like, hey, it'd be great to get this. This could be a huge upgrade for us here. I kind of feel like now that, knock on wood, touch metal, we're supposedly getting the big three back within the next 5 or 6 days, they would maybe hold off a little bit on being so quick to make a move to see exactly what it is that the team looks like with them. No?
I think trade-wise, yeah.
Yeah, trade-wise. From a buyout perspective and pickup, it's different. But trade-wise, right?
Yeah, I mean...
I think you still give it a little time.
Especially because I think the most attractive guy in the market right now with the price that they're shopping is Torrey Craig. And if that happens again, I swear to God.
If we get Torrey Craig on this
one. Get ready for February.
Can you imagine that emergency podcast?
We're circling back.
I'm not showing up. I'm not reporting.
I'm still waiting for the Gerald moment in the practice. Hi, Tori. I'm Gerald Bogel. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, dude, for the 14th time.
Oh my
Did
goodness.
he keep his house? We need investigative reporting. Does Torrey Craig still have his house here?
He might.
You know?
He actually might, man, because, I mean, shit. At that point, I would probably tell him, like, hold on to that. You just never know,
It's the
man.
Brokeback Mountain. I can't quit you. All right?
I would be so mad. If
I
I
don't-
was Tori, I would be pissed too. I'd be like, listen, you
No,
guys,
if I
enough
was
is
Tori, stop it.
enough.
Right.
Stop it right now.
I'd
my
veto it.
My next contract would
try.
have a one-team non-trade clause, and it would be whatever
Just
team
them.
James Jones is involved in.
I'd love to be a fly on the wall when he got that call. Hey, bro, you going back to Phoenix? Man, he probably
I would
throwing
throw my
shit all
phone.
over the place.
Yeah.
Like, come on, y'all joking, man. I would love if somebody pranked him.
Aw.
Like
Hold on,
that'd be
Aw.
cool as hell if his agent like pranked him and said, "Hey, Tori,
Oh
man."
my
Your-
God.
Your definition of cool is a unique
No,
one.
that
here.
that'd go
Honestly,
viral.
That would be a funny prank internally. I don't think he would feel good about it if it got out. But internally, with your own group of people, I can see how
Yeah.
that would be
Hey,
hilarious.
Tori, you just got moved
Yeah.
back to Phoenix, buddy.
I will say though, both times he got moved from Indiana and an imploding Chicago team. So I think
Probably wasn't mad.
That's
no,
I
he
guess.
probably wouldn't be mad. He probably
fair.
felt some type of way about why couldn't we do something in free agency in the summer.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think he
Avoid
would've
this
been-
whole song and dance.
Yeah.
Me having to move back, and then again and again.
Right.
Like, yeah.
You know what we need to check? Does he have a trade kicker? Is this all to get him paid more? Like, is this just a
Imagine that. Imagine that. It's all set up.
Lydia just said, wait, is Craig back? I just tuned in. No, Lydia, we're just talking hypothetical goofy shenanigans, I promise. Absolutely. But yeah, to my point, all I was saying is, I don't know. I know December 15th is around the corner, but I don't necessarily think that the Suns are going to be the way they were in free agency this year, where it's just like pop, 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 pop. That's not my expectation.
If the Suns make a move, I think it's at the deadline. I don't think they do
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
before that, unless it's a buyout. There's just too many moving parts, and the big three just coming back. It would be irrational to actually do that. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, they
All
need
right.
time to evaluate,
Right.
even though we have a couple of needs that we all
Yeah.
agree on right now.
Mhm. Flex, you got a pick of the week for us for
Oh, I do.
DraftKings?
I do.
You want to make us some money this
I
week?
do. I'm gonna make y'all some bread,
We'll
but
see.
y'all gotta bear with me because y'all know I like these 92 leg
Oh, boy.
parlays, right? All right, sorry. All right, no, this is a quick 8. This is a quick 8.
Quick 8.
It's a quick 8. Yo, easy 8. Easy money tonight.
Okay.
Tyrese Maxey, 20 points. Book it. Joel Embiid to get 10 boards.
Okay.
Book it. This one might seem tough, but I think it's money tonight. Joker to get 20 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds.
Okay.
Okay? I know it's almost asked for a triple-double, but this guy is incredible. That's where you make your money. That's the gamble. And then the end of it is going to be Chet Holmgren to score 15 points tonight.
Mhm.
Chet Holmgren to hit 2 threes tonight. They're playing Utah.
Mhm.
He's going to let it go out there. And then the last piece is my boy Tyrese Halliburton. 10 dimes for the best point guard in basketball. So
Okay.
I had a joke, but I'm not going to make it.
what are you going to say
Nope,
there, man?
I'll tell you after the show.
We're going to hit, and Espo's going to be mad because he didn't take it.
No, no,
Every
no.
time he takes
No,
it
no,
with
no.
me, we lose by
It's
one.
not a
Oh,
joke.
so
That's
Expo
true.
shouldn't be allowed to participate.
Have we
then.
not established on the giant jinx
We're
on
gonna,
this
we're
show?
gonna veto Espo from participating. But if you guys want to get in on the action, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Sign up using that code PHNX. New customers can get $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on basketball. Only on DraftKings. Again, with that code PHNX. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. Please play responsibly. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Blue Hill Casino and Resort KS, must be 21 or older in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gaming resources. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms.
Damn,
Yay!
man.
I hate Espo, you have to read that one next week, promise?
Deal.
Okay. Also, if you're still looking for Christmas gifts, check out Game Time. I feel like planning an entire day or evening would make a fantastic Christmas gift. You get the tickets, you make the reservation, all the things. Like, you're going to win Christmas if you do that. Trust me, it'll be a huge hit. And right now, you can save a little bit of cash as well. You can download the Game Time app, create an account, use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, though, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Game Time, you can download it today. They'll get you with the last minute tickets at lowest prices, guaranteed. Game Time has you covered. There's one thing we know for certain. If PJ Tucker comes to the Suns, the shoe game gets elevated to another level.
Yes.
And unfortunately, we didn't get to elevate our shoe game this weekend when it came to the book chapter ones because they released exclusively to Unknown Miami and its Miami-based users this weekend, which was a major bummer. And I know a lot of people were upset. And Devin even responded when this all came out, said, Grand Rapids, Moss Point, Phoenix, I tried, trust me. He also talked about it after the game. Like, listen, we understand it was out of Devin's control here. It sucks for all of us, especially all three places that have been supporting Devin for a really long time. We're just going to have to wait until spring of 2024 to get our hands on it because that was the 500 shoe drop. I think that we all were kind of hoping that maybe we could have gotten.
That was it. It was going to be Christmas, but this one ended up being.
I got my direct line to Nike. They're telling me it was all their marketing team that decided this and not book.
Espo hates that picture of Devin holding the shoe
I
like
don't
a
get
phone.
it.
I have a picture like that too, and I get it.
Why? Well, why did the photographer go, hey, book?
It's just a shoe pic.
Treat your chapter one like it's a seashell on the beach, and let's see if you can hear basketball with
Do you
inside
want a
your
real
shoe.
response?
Sure.
It's because your shoes are all the way down on your feet. And so in order to get the shoes and your face, you got to be pretty wide. So if you put the shoe up to your face, you get both money makers.
So hold it. Don't put it on your ear.
Is the shoe at his ear on that picture?
Yeah.
Yes.
It looks like it's at his ear.
No, it's at his ear. Go back to the
it's
picture.
not
Go
on
back.
his
You can
ear.
see
It's
it's on
to
his
his
cheek.
ear.
No, that's
yeah.
up.
He looks
it's
like
it's an illusion. It's like
No.
he's got it. No, it is.
He looks like
that's
he's
not-
Agent
Yo,
99.
I promise y'all, he's got the shoe and it's like in front of
it's
his
on
face.
his
It's on his.
like a phone.
Nah, he's
Wait,
holding
look.
it in a way like,
No.
yo, I'm telling y'all, that's not at his ear.
It
bro.
looks like he's in the 1960s show Get Smart, and he's trying to make a phone call on a shoe. All right.
No, yeah, I agree. Like that's
listen,
the,
Flex. I hate to break it to
Go
you.
ahead,
You
talk
can
to me.
literally see a little bit of the indentation of it touching his cheek.
Thank you.
It's up to his face like a phone.
it's on his
As-
face.
Yeah.
As Hello says, Espo says,
It pushes
quote,
his cheek in. Just
why
a
isn't
smidge.
he eating the shoe?
Anyway,
Makes
that's
more
a bummer.
sense.
We all are really mad at Nike for that. Unfortunately, it wasn't Devin's call, or else I guarantee you it would have been here or, like you said, somewhere that had a little more meaning to him. Not that he doesn't love Miami. We all know that. But we will get them sooner or later. And I think because of how hurt, I think you could say, and upset a lot of fans in Phoenix were, he'll probably do something big here as well.
Oh yeah, he's talked about doing different pop-ups and
Mhm.
exclusive colorway releases and stuff like that here, Grand Rapids. Like he's gonna do right by the fans. I know people were bummed about this, but Book seemed as bummed as anybody when I was asking him about it. Because one of the first things he mentioned when I was asking about the release was saying that he was gonna do things here, not Art Basel in Miami and all this other stuff.
Well, how much of this, and obviously I'm not big in the shoe game. I know I'm not breaking news here, but how much of it is because this is supposed to be a shoe that crosses fashion and basketball? Miami is a fashion hub. Sorry, Phoenix, we're not exactly a fashion
Okay, I
hub,
get
so-
that, but like you can also do a release like that here. You can also bring in quote unquote fashion people. It's the same thing.
I guess.
You
I
can
just-
create that anywhere. You can't tell me the only place that this would have popped off was Miami.
It's 500
can't say
shoes.
that.
So let me.
They probably have a deal. That's what it is. It's
Probably.
an exchange of some sort of, not Book, the release and
Mhm.
Nike have some sort of a deal going on.
And he mentioned global reach in terms of doing it at Art Basel, which I think was part of it from Nike's perspective. But
Yeah. But guys, spring's just around the corner. We're not that far off. Like it'll be here before we know it. And then also it's good too because you can save up a little bit of coin after the holidays because we all know the holidays make us a little more poor than we like to be. So then you're good to go.
Is this an ad transition?
what are we talking about?
Can I bring up something?
I wasn't planning on like that being the direct transition, but we can if you need me to go there.
I have a question. I don't know if anybody knows the answer, but somebody asked me, were there only 500 of the orange colorway, or will they sell the orange colorway when these are all released?
I feel like they'll sell them when they're all released.
Hold on. What was it?
The 500 that were released, that was a special release, were all the orange colorway.
Yes.
There's some people that are afraid that those are the only 500 that orange.
No.
I assume the box, there was something special with the box, the packaging, but the shoe itself, they're going to sell the orange.
Yes, the orange will be released. And I'm telling y'all guys, there is a shit ton of colorways. Like, they are coming, and they are going to be fantastic.
Well, we've already seen a whole bunch of them.
There's a lot more.
I am curious, though, because so Sneaker News, which is the place that shared this last week, I follow them, and they did say that the spring drop was supposed to be 4 different colorways. We've seen more than 4 already.
Well, we've seen the Havens, we've seen the black, the white, and the grays. We saw the orange and
the Moss Point too,
right? The Moss Point, right?
And
and then the all cream,
Odenwood or whatever.
The cream,
the creamish
yes,
ones.
The cream.
There's a purple one too, isn't there?
Yes, the legendary
purple, orange, cream,
gray,
white, and gray, and the Havens, the blacks,
and all white.
No, there haven't been all white.
Okay, so we've only seen 5.
Cream.
So we've seen 5.
Yes, 5.
Okay.
Now
No, I think we've seen 7 though.
I feel like we have.
We've
There's
seen
There
more.
was the Odenwood, the brown with the white.
That's the cream one that we're
that's
talking
the
about.
cream one.
We're counting that as cream. I don't know my colors real well, so
That's cream to me. But I think we've seen more
a
than
lot,
4,
though,
basically, is what
There's
I'm
been
getting
more
at.
than 4, yeah.
So I'm curious to see if that actually is just 4 colorways for the spring, and then we'll get more as they continue to be created and made and kind of released out, or how that goes. But we'll keep you guys posted if we find out anything new or anything additional to keep you updated on those things. Listen, as far as tomorrow goes, it is a TNT exclusive game, so you cannot catch it on Arizona's Family Sports. But if you want to watch the Twins in town on Wednesday, Arizona Family Sports has you covered for that. To catch all the games, all you need is just an antenna, and there are tons of options available, both at local retailers or online. So wherever you live in Arizona, you can visit azfamily.com and click on Suns Games for listing information for your area. AZ Family is a great resource to help you find Phoenix Suns games on Arizona Family Sports. So make sure you tune in on Wednesday and support the local broadcasts. And also, again, another Christmas idea, Shady Rays. I've told you guys this numerous times, but the best part is the discount. So you can get one for yourself, one for somebody else. You could get 2 people covered with the same order, which is always nice. But Shady Rays, they make the best premium polarized sunglasses, and they're an independent sunglass company with a world-class product. And exclusively for you, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. So just go to shadyrays.com. Use code PHNX for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. All right, gentlemen, we're going to round out the show by naming our PHNX Suns Person of the Year award. This was Time Magazine, right? They named their Person of the Year. We're going to do this Suns specific.
Hold on, you're not going to say who won it? It was the one and only Tay-Tay, Taylor Swift.
Did she? I
Yes,
don't know
she
who
won.
won
She
it, to
did.
be completely honest
Yeah,
with
she
you.
did.
Shout out to you, Taylor Swift.
Jeez, come on.
I think I personally would like to play this game, but it's up to you guys. You guys can all pick somebody to argue for, and then me and Eric decide who wins.
Okay.
Deal?
Yeah.
Love this.
It's fair.
Espo, you can
Yeah,
start.
so look, there's a caveat here. If DJ Automatic plays that remix during the Golden
No,
State
that was
intros,
DJ Chris Villa.
Oh, okay. Well, if
DJ
he
Chris Villa.
but I'm saying if DJ Automatic plays DJ Chris Villa's remix tomorrow during
100%.
the Golden State intros, both of them will win my Person of the Year.
Okay.
Hands down, no doubt about it. But I really feel like there's one man and one man only that deserves this honor this year, and I don't think this will come as any surprise for any of you guys when I say this name. It is Isaiah Thomas, the shadow general manager of the Phoenix Suns.
Oh,
He
no.
pulled all the strings. It's why these guys are here. I'm going with that. Isaiah Thomas, congratulations. Man of the Year.
Okay. That's what you're going with?
Sure.
All right, Flex, who are you making a case for? Eric and I are already
behind
on
him.
board.
He just really just threw me for a loop.
It's down to me and you then.
Down to
Yeah.
me and you, bro. It's down to me and you.
That's supposed to say I
Player
don't want
one
to
has
play.
been eliminated.
Do you have to
Do
fake
what
my
you
death
got.
like
Yes,
that
do it.
show?
Do it.
I mean, I'm gonna keep it pretty simple, guys. I mean, I'm not gonna give the whole break. And Matt Ishbia for me, man. I mean,
Okay.
it's just since he's been here, the vibe, the culture, all that stuff seems to be heading the right direction. And if this team ends up playing the way we think they can, I thought Espo was giving me a look.
No.
If they end up playing the way that we think they can, and he delivers that championship, I think this is gonna be easy. So yeah, Matty Ice, my boy
Okay.
Matty Ice is the man of the year for me.
All right. I'll consider it. Gerald?
All right. I think Matt Ishbia deserves consideration for it, obviously. Like buying the team, not being an asshole as far as we know of.
That's what I
At
want
least
to
not
Those
say.
are
publicly. We
Doing
don't-
the Ring of Honor, like the aggressive moves that he's made to put all the chips to the middle of the table for a title. Like it's something that a lot of other owners should aspire to, and little stuff behind the scenes that other people don't know about, like just elevating, like for me, the media food, it's night and day compared to what it was under Sarver. So he is very committed to, as he said, making this a winning organization top to bottom. Don't want to disregard that. But if we're looking at the person of the year for the Phoenix Suns, it's Devin Booker. It's still Devin Booker. It's going to be Devin Booker until Kevin Durant takes that mantle from him. You look at what he did in the playoffs last year, had not just his best playoffs ever, but one of the best individual postseason runs of all time. I know it ended in the second round, but like what he's done for this team, how he's transitioned to point guard, the fact that he's the foundation of it all, that Matt Ishbia wanted to invest in the first place, I just can't make an argument for anybody other than Devin Booker.
Can I make one more argument?
Sure.
Not for the original guy's head. Baxter Holmes is the
Yo, that right there.
person
No,
of the
that was
year.
last year, though. That was last
No,
year.
because
But it
was
without
last
him,
year.
But it all finalized this
yep,
year.
without him, Matt Ishbia ain't here in
It
February.
was last
Look,
year.
I'm-
last year.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
they made
No,
the
no.
cake.
Hold
The sale happened
Listen,
last
hold
year.
on.
As the official judge of this
The report
thing,
came out
The
last
report
year.
came out last year.
report
We
came out
traded for
last
KD last
year,
year.
but
Ishbia bought
the-
the team last year.
but the actual decision making because of said report happened this year.
The
Fine.
decision making happened before the year turn.
Hold on.
It was
Yeah,
only
he
official
got-
that Matt Ishbia took over
fine.
after
Yeah,
the
he
turn
got
of the
Fine,
calendar
for the
year.
whole the millennia,
No,
and then we can name somebody the man of the year or
Okay.
person.
Did
of the
we
year.
do a man of the year last year?
Okay,
No.
so
No, this is the first.
So,
Okay,
so
so-
it's in the 12-month calendar
Retroactively
year.
give it to them
yeah,
last year.
retroactively.
so we've got
yeah.
DJs,
I'm sorry, Lindsay.
we got Isaiah Thomas, we got Matt Ishbia, we got Devin Booker. Eric, I will give you the option to either throw another name in the hat or you can me decide. It's up to you.
I think they have the names covered.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm really torn between Ishbia and Booker
Okay.
and Isaiah Thomas.
Obviously, Isaiah.
I'm obviously leaning towards the DJs, of course. If
Okay.
that happens tomorrow, hands down,
But then you
100%
got to talk
that
about
is
what's
the
already
winner.
happened, though.
I'm just letting everyone know that we're calling a stop to the print, like switch it up last minute if that happens tomorrow. I personally am leaning towards Devin Booker. I do understand the Ishbia side of things. However, you know I love giving more love to the people who are doing the work, who are the product, if you will, versus the person
Right.
who is managing, I suppose. So I would lean towards Devin Booker personally. Eric, where are you at?
I'm kind of in the same boat with Book
Okay.
because the reason why Ishbia did all the stuff that he did is because he saw Devin Booker as the piece to build around. The reason why Kevin Durant wanted to be traded here in the first place is because Devin Booker plays basketball here. The reason why Bradley Beal waived his no trade clause is because Devin Booker plays basketball here. It kind of adds up.
Right, like we appreciate the money. Don't get wrong.
Oh, you're right.
But Devin is the prize.
No, Isaiah Thomas called these guys and said, "Did you see what I did with the CBA? Did you see what I did with the
Oh,
Toronto
no.
Raptors and the New York Knicks? You want to be in Phoenix."
I knew as soon as I saw him shaking his head, some foolishness was about to come out.
All
I knew
right.
it was
You
coming.
can't-
That was fun.
You can't argue a Book.
You
That's
can't
a
argue
great
a Book.
choice.
I
And
don't.
Eric, you broke that down fantastic job of breaking it. At the end of the day, everything that happened was because of Devin. I don't even think Matt Ishbia buys his team if he didn't have that cornerstone in Devin Booker. So makes a lot of sense that it's the homie D book. And I'm not arguing it. And then, I mean, at the end of the day, Lindsay makes a great point. These are the guys that put the sweat equity in.
Right. I show up to the games to watch Devin.
There you go.
I don't show up to the games to see what Matt
Great
is
point.
doing in his seats. While I appreciate everything he has done so far as the leader of this organization, I think he's knocked it out of the park. I think he's righting the wrongs that we've all had to endure over the last way too long stretch of time. And that is so wonderful for all of us as Suns fans to be able to have. I'm still giving it to Devin. So Ishbia gets his flowers, but the award goes to Devin.
For his time covered, we just need a different photo of him with the shoe, though. We need a different photo than that one.
You don't like it either?
I mean, I kind of am picturing it now, and it's very funny. So maybe we might need to Photoshop that. But
Okay. Let's Photoshop it. We'll make it happen.
Look at
All
Eric
right.
over there.
Any final thoughts, you guys?
I'm glad I put the shoe up to my ear, not my mouth this time.
Same. We all agree. That
gross.
should have been.
That should have been your boy. That should have been it, dude.
I found.
Come
what
on,
you
do it
told me
again.
I
Do it
needed
again.
to
Do it again.
find.
Do it.
All right. Well, thank you guys for
Okay.
joining us. We appreciate you so much. If you're here on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button on your way out. If you're listening wherever you get your podcast, rate, review, and our Suns. We'll be back tomorrow. We've got a pregame show for you. It's a little bit of a later tip, 8 p.m. So pregame will tip off at 7:30. And then, of course, a postgame show after it wraps up as well. Until we see you then, you can follow me on social at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget. You can follow Flex at Flex from Jersey. And you can follow Espo at Espo. Espo, take us home.
I realized this yesterday at the Orpheum Theater that basketball is just ballet with very tall men in shorts. Ahoy, hoy.
We all silly like the mayor.